Leaders at a mosque in Markham are speaking this hour as police investigate a suspected hate-motivated attack. The news conference just getting underway. Let's listen live.
وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث صدق الله العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. By the morning sunlight and the night when it falls still, your Lord, O Prophet, has not abandoned you, nor has he become hateful of you. And the next life is certainly far better for you than this one. And surely your Lord will give you so much that you will be pleased. Did he not find you as an orphan, then sheltered you? Did he not find you unguided, then guided you? And did he not find you needy, then satisfied your needs? So do not oppress the orphan, nor repulse the beggar, and proclaim the blessings of your Lord. Thank you.
Thank you, Sheikh Zishan. Next, I'd like to invite the President of the Board of the Islamic Society of Markham, Kaisar Khan.
Salam to everyone. My name is Kaisar Nasir Khan. I'm the President of the Islamic Society of Markham. We all want to welcome all of you here at our masjid. Masjid is by definition a place where we lower our heads, where we surrender ourselves to become closer to God. This month of Ramadan is the month where we work harder to become better people. Normally, as president, I would be purely focused on making sure our congregation is taken care of, that we are serving food to the attendees at dusk, and we are taking care of the poor, as is our requirement in Ramadan. I did not expect to be here in front of you talking about this issue. On Thursday, April 6th, at the time of the dawn prayer, an individual came to our masjid. While I will not provide too many factual details, as this matter is still under police investigation, I will note the following. This individual, an individual that we understand is not of our faith, did a number of Islamophobic acts. He threatened to burn down our mosque. He uttered slurs about the Prophet, may peace be upon him. And he uttered slurs about terrorism. Most concerningly, he tried to ram our congregants with his vehicle. This attack was captured on video. It was shocking. It could have resulted in serious injury, or God forbid, even fatalities. I want to address three things at this outset. Firstly, I want to thank our incredible volunteer security team. We shouldn't have to have one, but they did incredible work. They did incredible work to make sure that everyone was safe and to coordinate quickly to make sure that our congregants and the victims of the attacks were also supported. Second, I want to thank the York Regional Police, who responded swiftly to attend at our center, and who also moved swiftly to arrest this individual and approach this as a hate-motivated crime. We appreciate this critical support. Lastly, to our neighbors. You all know that the Islamic Society of Markham is a place where all are welcome. I say this to our attacker as well. Our center is always there as a place where folks can find healing, love, and forgiveness. Our tradition, the tradition of the Blessed Messenger, who the attacker slandered, is a tradition of love and humility. The Islamic Society of Markham has always tried our best as an institution to support this message of love. In the past, when we had young people break the glass of the mosque and urinate on our property, we responded with love and forgiveness. However, love requires justice. It requires peace. Our congregation and Muslims across the country have a reason to be concerned. Whether looking at the Quebec City Mosque massacre or the London attack, where an individual ran down the entire family with his truck, our communities have reasons to feel afraid. Make no mistake, we could have been at a funeral today. And we make three asks for the change, recognizing that all levels of governments have been working hard to make life safe for all Canadians. First, we urge Premier Ford to continue to work together and swiftly to ensure the passage of our London Family Act or ensure its principles are put into action. We are almost 2 years on since London attack, and we need to make sure this province is taking a multi-layered approach here. We look forward to continuing to see positive change. Secondly, we need to see the federal security infrastructure program expanded. Although we were pleased to see a budget expansion in Budget 2023, we remain concerned that the program is difficult to apply for and takes months to process. We also think it is high time that the SIP program also pays for the third-party security for institutions under risk. Lastly, we want to thank all of you for coming and for your love and support with us. On behalf of all the Canadian Muslims, and I want to say this loud and clear, we will not be intimidated. We will never stop in our mission of love, of self-purification, and trying to do the right thing. Thank you.
Can you just give us your name and spelling of your name before you're done, please, your title?
I'm the president, and it's Qasir Nasir Khan.
Can you spell that, please?
Qasir, Nasir, and Khan. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Yasser. So good afternoon again. My name is Nadia Hassan, and I'm the Chief Operating Officer of the National Council of Canadian Muslims. What happened here last week was extremely distressing, especially during the holy month of Ramadan, where many Muslims, families, and elders gather for collective acts of worship. This is a time for community, for spiritual revival, and for finding peace. The Islamophobic slurs and actions by the suspect, who is now in custody, attempted to destroy that peace. But the resilience of this masjid community remains steadfast. We are grateful for the quick and timely actions of masjid volunteers who wish to remain anonymous, but their actions prevented the suspect from causing further harm. The reality is that this incident is part of a broader problem of increasing hate crimes in Canada and an intensification of Islamophobic rhetoric. Just a week before this incident, we saw Islamophobic vandalism at another masjid in the GTA. And just a couple of weeks before that, we saw a Muslim woman wearing a hijab threatened with a knife on public transit. This is not to mention some of the most egregious acts of violence, such as the attack in London. Hate crimes against Canadian Muslims rose by 71% in 2021, the same year we saw the heartless attack on the Muslim family in London. This cannot go on. We must address this phenomenon directly and comprehensively. That is why the National Council of Canadian Muslims is supporting the Islamic Society of Markham's calls to action, which include three things. Firstly, we call on the Ontario government to expedite the passing of the Our London Family Act in Ontario. This is a model piece of legislation that seeks to address Islamophobia through multiple areas of policy and law. Secondly, we call on the federal government to enact reforms to Security Infrastructure Program, which provides funding for places of worship to implement security measures. These reforms should include an expansion of eligible expenses to include third-party security guards. Lastly, We know that bigger fences do not make for better neighbors. So we ask that the federal government provide better funding for engaging the broader community so that our communities can better dispel harmful stereotypes and myths about Muslims. While we know that there is much more that needs to be done to root out Islamophobia, these actions are necessary and urgent steps that will help alleviate immediate threats to our communities. The time for action against Islamophobia is now. Thank you. Next, I'd like to invite the Deputy Chief of the York Regional
Okay, we've been listening in live in Markham inside that mosque where there was an attack late last week. Of course, they mentioned there that the suspect is now in custody. They appreciate the work of the arrest being done there by York Regional Police, but they've also outlined a series of asks of different levels of government in order to try to tackle and combat more Islamophobia. We will have more on that. In fact, we're going back there right now. The Deputy Chief of York Regional Police is now speaking.
Seriously. We responded quickly to identify and arrest the suspect later that day. Our hate crime unit and our intelligence bureau has been engaged in this investigation from the outset, which is ongoing. I'd like to make a couple of statements. One, we do not believe this incident or individual is part of a larger group. We do not believe that this individual is associated to an extremist group. We do not believe that this incident is terror-related, and I want again to reassure the community that there is no threat to community safety as a result of this incident. These types of incidents are of great concern not only to our faith communities, but to our broader communities here in Markham and throughout York Region. We are doing everything we can to ensure that our faith communities remain safe during these high holidays. As a police organization, we are committed to thoroughly investigating any incident of threat to a member of our community, and we will lay charges accordingly. We'd like to thank our local politicians and others who have joined us here this morning for their support, to show support for the Islamic community here in Markham, and let them know that that is greatly appreciated, and we stand with them during this time. We're also grateful for the partnership that we have enjoyed for many years with this organization, and will continue to do so. We are all working together to ensure that York Region remains a place where people feel safe and welcome. I'd like to invite Inspector Byam to provide some more details about the investigation itself.
Thank you, Deputy Rouse. So some additional information related to this investigation and subsequent to our press release that we put out. On the 6th of April, we were contacted regarding witnesses who had identified that there was a male causing a disturbance here at the mosque, and that the information received at that time was that a male driver of a vehicle had driven directly at one of the worshippers here. Immediately, York Regional Police responded to conduct an investigation. Unfortunately, upon our arrival, the suspect had already left. But thanks to the terrific work of the security staff, as well as the information that was provided by the witnesses, we were able to, in relatively short order, identify a course for the investigation related to the vehicle, as well as the suspect. Further to that investigation, later on the 6th, York Regional Police attended a residence in Toronto known to be associated with the suspect. Shortly after midnight, so it would be early morning hours of April 7th, the suspect was arrested while he was returning to his residence by members of our 5-District Criminal Investigation Bureau. Sharon Karan has been charged with uttering threats, assault with a weapon, as well as dangerous operation of a conveyance. That's in relation to specifically what occurred in the morning. We take these incidents very seriously. And during the course of our investigation, we had members of our hate crime unit, as well as our intelligence bureau, working hand in hand with our criminal investigators, along with our uniform members, to ensure not only the safety here, but we reached out to the broader faith community to let them know that this incident had occurred, and so that they could be prepared, particularly because of the holy month of Ramadan and the ongoing observance of that. I do want to thank the staff here at the mosque and the witnesses to this event who were very forthcoming with information for us that allowed us to move our investigation forward quickly and to identify the suspect. And I want to just reassure the community, much like the deputy has said, we take these very seriously. This became the #1 priority for us among a number of our priorities in a day, but became the #1 priority for us to identify this offender and get him into custody. He's currently in custody and awaiting a bail hearing tomorrow morning.
Okay, so beyond the update from officials for the Islamic Society of Markham and also the National Council of Canadian Muslims there, we just heard from 2 senior members of York Regional Police about the investigation into the attack last Thursday on that mosque.